Hello, good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is your pal Tezo Bogas. I won't even go into the intro of, oh, this is East Africa Showcase and whatever. Let's go straight into the business of marriage, okay? I think this is gonna be a long video. I got like 20 pages in front of me. This was part two. This is part one. So, marriage, the marriage question. Very, very important marriage question. And I think it comes down to what is most important to you? What is your priority? Of course, when you're a young man, we all know if you're a young man, you know what I'm talking about. You are focused on what you are seeing. Like many times, you go outside and you see a beautiful woman. You're not thinking about her age. You're not thinking about what country she comes from. You're not thinking about what language she speaks. You're not thinking about any of that. You're thinking about, oh, I see what I like. Let me go pursue this. Let me go pursue this. And there's nothing wrong with that. It is a biological response. But when it comes to the question of who are you going to live with, you got to always have the idea of all for one and one for all. Okay? So if one person loses, we all lose. If one person wins, we all win. Okay? Because you're always going to have good and bad times. Just like in business, no one that is in business, whether it's a big business, small business, you're not always going to have higher sales 1 month compared to last month. You're not going to have, even if you're comparing weeks or days, the days become weeks and the weeks become months and the months become quarters and the quarters become years. And of course, it matters in terms of the overall trends, but nobody really knows how much they're going to sell in a business when they move in. And the same thing with marriage. Marriage is it's just a very unpredictable thing. It always sounds good, to be wanted. We all want to be wanted. We all want people to contact us. It feels good for people to contact us. We're special. You invite me places. I don't invite you places. And I've seen that my whole life. And usually I'm the one that does the invitations and does the setup and does the heavy lifting. But in the end, when you have the experience, and this is like months of work or even years of work, days of work, and you see your audience sitting there and they're all satisfied, they're all impressed with what you're doing, it's actually a positive thing. That is priceless, okay? There's no amount of money that can replace the feeling of delighting someone in a way that they didn't expect. But my hope with any of these videos is that you learn something that you maybe knew but didn't consider as a priority, or maybe just at the end of the day, you learn something useful that you can use in your daily life and make informed decisions to act. Okay? Every action is preceded by a thought. Okay? Your thoughts become your actions. Just like to speak, to make this video, I had to get to this Fort York AV room. First of all, I had to book the room. You have to book it because on Saturdays, there are a lot of students and people are off on Saturdays, generally students. So if you don't book it 9 a.m. on Wednesday, you're probably not going to get the room. That's another thing too. When something is free, it's free for you. It's free for everyone else too. And you got to make it by phone, by the way. No online reservations. You got to make it. The decisions you make now will determine your future living conditions. Okay? And when things don't go well, okay, you have two choices. It's either you blame yourself or you blame others. You blame the government, you blame your relatives, you blame your friends, you blame the school system, you blame your employer, you blame whoever it may be. But ultimately, you are the one making decisions in your life as to where to spend your time, where to spend your money, where to spend the most valuable asset, once again, is your time. Okay, your time. So, yeah, in the Amharic language, since I always try to showcase Ethiopia, showcase the culture, there's a word called flagot. Flagot, okay? What do you want? If you really want it, if it's really important to you, you'll find room on your calendar, room on your schedule to do it. If it's something that you don't want to do, no one, including the government, can force you to do anything. So we talked about productivity in this country. Guess what? You can't force anyone to do anything. People do things out of their own volition, on their own volition. So yeah, that means things move a lot more slowly. In Asia, China, they work, I believe, don't quote me, I've never been to China, but if you get to work 10 hours a day, that's a good day, because most people work 12 hours a day. And that's working a job. And there's no options, okay? If you don't work, you don't get any free money, okay? None at all. Ontario Works, ODSP, Canada Child Benefit, whatever it may be. In the idea of getting a cash transfer from the government does not exist in most countries outside of the Western countries. So I don't even know how I got onto that. Let me go back to marriage. Recently, I went through the experience of, well, there's a certain holiday, I believe it's New Year, and that's in September. So there's a gathering. I didn't really want to go to the gathering, to be honest with you, but just out of a sign of respect, mostly for my mom, so the room is not empty, I decided to go there, even though I knew it would probably not be a pleasant experience. But recently went through the experience of like, why aren't you married? And the pressure, pressure tactics, Habasha. And the person, he's probably watching this, but I don't really care because I'm describing my experience. So you can watch it or not. I'm just saying. I'm describing how I felt, because you can't really attack me on living at home, not having a car, not having a job, not having not going through academics, because academics, going through health information management again at the age of 30 compared to 10 years ago, if I had to do it all over again, I probably would have given up, okay, to be honest, because being 30 does not feel the same as being 20. I can tell you that much. You might have the same 24 hours, but the energy levels definitely change. And so, yeah, recently went through this conversation of like, it's a one-sided conversation. It's more like an interrogation, to be honest. Oh, he's really not going to like this video, but it's okay. We'll see. But I say the word interrogation because it's like I'm receiving all the questions. And sometimes like questions can piss you off. It can make you angry. Like, why is it so invasive? Too many personal questions. Like, I just met this guy. But, I'm okay. I stepped into the arena. Okay, I stepped into the arena. And even though it's tough, even though it's painful, sometimes a little bit of pain can help you do great things, okay? Just like with exercise, they always say no pain, no gain. And yeah, so the whole idea of pressure into getting married as soon as possible. You should already be married. The next time I see you, you need to be married. All the things. So, so-and-so is having a kid. He's younger than you. Why don't you have a kid? You're the same age, blah, blah, blah. The topic of how much does a wedding cost, because I've been going to certain venues in Toronto and just for the first-hand experience, because no one can really give you a number. I've been asking people, how much does a wedding cost? Some people say 5,000, some people say 10,000, some people say 20,000, some people say 100,000. And I've gone to certain locations. One of them is Old Mill Station. There's actually a place called Old Mill, I guess they call it venue, restaurant, whatever. And they have different rooms. So you rent one room and you must get the catering from them, the food catering. You cannot bring your own food there. And by the way, it's a beautiful place. It's like a castle. You feel like royalty when you're there. And, I like the location because if you don't have a car, you just need to get to Old Mill Station and you can walk up. It's a 5-minute walk from Old Mill Station. But how I heard about it is actually through hearsay. I follow Ontario politics quite a bit. And Doug Ford, he has 4 daughters, you might have heard. And yeah, he did a wedding for one of them. And his suggestion was to do the Old Mill for $10,000, all inclusive. So I was expecting $10,000. And after like a 2-hour appointment of her showing the room, she was from South Africa, or the representative of South Africa, of the company was from South Africa. I was asking her, how long have you been in the country? Oh, I came here 2 years ago after COVID. And I said, oh, okay, that's interesting. And then, of course, she said, after the honeymoon, you can go to South Africa, Cape Town, and have a great time. She doesn't know that I don't have fiance or anything like that. I'm just really, I'm there as a tourist, but I just said, okay. And yeah, the whole time she asked me like 3 times, where is your significant other? Because if you go together and she can convince the girl that this is the place, usually the guy goes along with it. But if you go alone, you can just keep it a secret. I kept it a secret until this video. So now you know, Old Mill Station, it ended up being $25,000. They provide all the catering. So $25,000, actually most of the money goes to drinks and food. Very less than $10,000 actually goes to the venue. So maybe that's where Doug Ford got the number of $10,000, or maybe he was talking about 20 years ago. I don't know. But yeah, Old Mill venue. I forgot. I'm pretty sure it's called Old Mill, but it's at Old Mill Station. And yeah, still deciding on the venue. I want it to be a nice place, but I'm not trying to spend anything close to $20,000. I mean, I say it in every video, this country is in distress. All you have to do is take a walk down Sherburne Street, on Jarvis Street, on whatever street you want, Bloor Street. And for some reason, in the suburbs, you leave downtown Toronto, you don't see too many maniacs. But downtown Toronto is just becoming like walking zombies. These people are barely alive. But somebody wants me to spend $25,000 on a wedding, which I know people say, oh, you'll get the money back, or I'll pay it for you. No, I don't trust Habashas to pay for anything. Okay, I believe it when I see it. Okay, I don't trust Habashas to pay for anything. So, anyways, I'm the one who is applying for use of the venue one day. Imagine spending $25,000 for one day. And that is just a crazy thought to me, because $25,000, how long would it take you to save $25,000? And never forget this, it's much easier to save money when you're younger compared to when you're older, okay? Once you're over 30, saving money becomes, if I can do it, I do it. If not, I live paycheck to paycheck for the rest of my life. So yeah, that is not something that I like. But you can call it gaslighting. You can call it whatever you like to call it. You know, gaslighting. The word gaslighting, getting you to question your own sanity. You know, because confidence is what you need in life. You need confidence. Somebody that's doing something with confidence will have a much better time than somebody who's questioning themselves. But you know, when you're busy questioning yourself, you can't be doing anything. It's like you're frozen. You know, your thoughts. You just you and your thoughts, and question all these different things. So in a way, I'm not saying that the person that I had this conversation with was trying to set me up for failure. I'm not saying that. He was expressing his opinion. But he's been through marriage, okay? He's been through marriage. I don't want to go into any other detail, but he's been through marriage. And I think he was saying something about he's looking to get married again. That's his choice. I said, good luck. And all I said was good luck to him. But yeah, the whole idea of like somebody is doing something, so I need to do it as well. I don't buy that. I don't buy that. I'll sit there as a punching bag and take it. You know, I'll take it. Whatever assumption you have, whatever question you have, let's just see, you know, where it leads to. But, you know, like one question was, how old are you? You're 35, aren't you? I'm not 35. I'm not 35. I can tell you I'm not 35, I promise you. 30, about to be 31. And yeah, I'll tell you my age, even when I'm 51 or 61 or 71 or 101. Hopefully I last that long. Who knows? 101, that's pushing it. But I'm not 35, but I'm getting there. So I get it. The age thing, that's the biggest thing for pressure. And using time as a pressure tactic, that's the oldest trick in the book, okay? Even in business. You have a 5-day sale. Before I came here, I heard a radio ad about Lexus. Lexus is the luxury brand of Toyota. They're having a 5-day sale. So if you don't come visit the Lexus store within the next 5 days, you're missing out. So, it's the oldest trick in the book. Make people feel like they have a limited time and then motivate them to act. But here it is. You have plenty of time, okay? Despite whatever somebody says to you, you got plenty of time. And when it comes to this, when it comes to marriage, a deal that is irreversible, okay? Irreversible, there's no do-overs when it comes to marriage. I think I said it in the past. It's either till death do we part, or it's let's become estranged, never talk to me again, and I'll move on. And the second option is, of course, much worse than the first option. And yeah, just a late deal is better than a terrible deal, an irreversible, terrible deal that makes your life worse. If you're gonna get married, it should be to make your life better, okay? Or have any kind of romantic relationship. It should be, we're better together than apart. Not only the romantic stuff, not only the, I was gonna say something, but I gotta keep it PG, but you know what I mean by romantic. That doesn't last very long, and once you're over 60, your reproductive organs are worn out. I hate to say that. Oh, worn out is a tough word. I shouldn't say worn out, but it's not gonna be the same as when you're 20, okay? So all of that fades away. What you have at the end, once again, is the household, and all for one for all. We support each other. When somebody's down, we lift them up. And, we have a big tent, inclusive tent. And so that's the situation. Usually with Habashas, it ends up becoming a situation of do as I say, not as I do. Okay, so I get to do whatever I want, but since I'm older than you, I get to tell you what to do. And I'm okay with that. He's not the only one that has that kind of approach. And yeah, he's really not gonna like it. Let's see how he responds to it. But believe me, with these videos, I'm just really describing my life. Okay, I'm describing my life. I kind of enjoy it, to be honest. I hope you enjoy it. But yeah, I won't mention anyone by name. That's not a good idea. But being questioned about your past is never easy. Even if it's in a job interview, they're gonna ask you about your past. But it provides real clarity on what you do, on what you need to do, and where you need to look for answers. So yeah, being questioned, don't be afraid of being questioned. And sometimes you just gotta step into the arena. Temporary pain can give you pleasure in the future. Okay, temporary pain, as long as you're prepared for it. As long as you're mentally prepared for it, and you understand that words really, they can't kill you, okay? Words only affect you if you let them linger in your mind, okay? The negative words. And that's usually how I've decided to live life. So it could have been so easy for me to come up with the excuse, I'm going to the gym, or I have something else to do, or just not answer my phone. It's very easy to turn your phone off and not answer it. And then the conversation would have never happened. But since I expected that the conversation might be like a one-sided deal, it might be unpleasant, I came in there with the mentality of, you can say whatever you want to me because, I'm at peace with where I am. And I'm going to show up. One thing about Tezer Mogas, if I say I'm going to be somewhere, I'll show up. I won't keep you hanging. So here's what I'm up against when it comes to marriage, okay? 31 years old, and a year from now, I'll be 32 years old, getting closer to 32 years old. So nobody's getting any younger, okay? Nobody's getting any younger. Neither I or whoever you are watching this, nobody's getting any younger. And one thing, in terms of the economics of it, comes down to the housing market. Almost everything comes down to the housing market, but because whether you're 20 years old, 30 years old, or 100 years old, you need to live somewhere. and you need to either pay rent or pay your mortgage. And then even after you're completed with the mortgage, you got something called property taxes, and then you got a 25-year-old house, which means you need 25 years worth of maintenance, and you need to replace certain things. You need to replace the roof. You need to replace the hot water machine for showers. The thing about renting is that you don't have to pay for any of the maintenance. So in a way, you're kind of saving all the non-recoverable costs of repairs, and you only make money on a house, okay? If you're really buying a house, real estate as an investment, you only make money on a house when you sell it. You can't sell 50% of it. You can't sell 10% of it. And in the city of Toronto, you have more people moving in and you have nobody moving out. That must mean the city of Toronto is a nice place to live, okay? We might not like it. People might be miserable, but people are not moving out. So if people were really miserable, okay, the city of Toronto would be empty. And that's just how it is. So nobody is living where they want to be living long term, okay? Everyone wants to move out. And even myself. So my situation is that for the past 3 years, since 2022, I decided to move out in 2022. I said to myself, like, in my life, I've never heard of a landlord who is in the business to make money, okay? They bought a building or they built a building to collect positive cash flow, positive return on their investment. They spent millions of dollars buying the land, millions of dollars building the building if they built it, and then hundreds of millions of dollars to buy the building if they bought the building. Actually, in my building, 72 Gamble, there was a previous owner, and then they sold it to Rainy Management. So Rainy Management didn't buy the building, didn't build the building, they bought it. So ever since I was a child, I wanted to live alone. I wanted to have complete independence. I wonder what it's like to live alone. And I thought I was going to live alone for about 3 to 6 months, and then eventually I find someone and, they're moving and everything's gonna be perfect. And then here I am 3 years later, still living completely alone. And yeah, I would say 2025, it feels a little weird waking up and it's literally empty. The home is empty. All I can tell you is 3 years from now, I'm not gonna be living alone. So when it comes to age, I'm actually feeling the effects at the age of 30 because I used to love playing basketball. Let me go to the next page. And I used to ask people all the time, do you play basketball? Do you play basketball? Do you play basketball? Where do you play basketball? Come play basketball with me. Like every week, I would always be texting people until, they stopped responding. So you kind of take that as they don't want to do it and I'm okay. Or maybe they have their group to play basketball with. Because basketball is only fun when you have your people. If you're playing with randoms, it's kind of, you get bored of it really quick. But yeah, I've definitely slowed down a lot when it comes to basketball. And basketball is a young man's game. A lot of jumping, a lot of running. So yeah, ever since I've started feeling the effects of that, I said, oh, okay, wow, so this is what getting older feels like. And your time and health is finite. But the game is not over, okay? The game is not over. Hopefully I can get back into the basketball. There are a lot of new community centers, actually. Even today, I just heard on the radio. If I wasn't listening to the radio, I would have never known this. There's a new community center. There's going to be 2 on the lakeshore now. One is One Young, and the other one, I think, is called East Bayfront. This is also in a condo. Yeah, East Bayfront, Merchants Wharf. I'm kind of running out of time. I admit that. If this was 5 years ago, I would have said, oh no, I have plenty of time. I have energy. I have this, I have that. But turning 30 definitely changes your perspective. I've covered a lot today. And to be honest, with marriage, I can probably sit here and talk to you about marriage for the next, 5 or 6 hours. But I'm limited on time with the AV room, audiovisual room. And that's the only thing that sucks about getting things for free or getting things at a very low cost, is that you're always limited on time. But I hope you learned something from this marriage video. I hope you learned something that's useful, even for yourself. If you're looking to get married or remarried, I hope some of the perspective from Tezzer Mogas is going to be helpful. And if anything, at least I'll be able, forget about East Africa Showcase for a second, I'll be able to show this video to my future child or children, about what I was looking for when it comes to, I guess, your mother. I'll be saying your mother at that point, and what were my deal breakers or not. But just remember one thing, okay? Someone that does not delay, deny, distract you, but also the whole thing about keeping things forever, keeping physical items forever, and not making room for the new experiences, always being rigid and keeping things the way that they've always been. That's never been my approach to life. And hopefully, if you're listening, if my future romantic partner is listening to this, I hope she's not that way too. I hope she's open to new experiences and new ways of doing things, because that's what we need. I think it was Darwin. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Charles Darwin. In order to survive and thrive, actually. I'm paraphrasing. This is not exactly what he said, but it's not the strongest or the smartest. It's the person that is most adaptable to change. Somebody who changes their habits, changes their methods based on new information and new living conditions. And we're all getting used to new ways of living, new economic conditions, new living conditions, new government conditions, whatever it may be, with the whole situation with the United States. But, okay, to end on a positive note, I really, really appreciate you watching my video. I'm sure I'm not making too many friends in making this video, because I just put it out there. Just like with any of these videos, you know, I'm not really focused on subscribers. Some days, like, you shouldn't feel too good about like having more subscribers or having more followers one day, and then when you lose two subscribers, oh, people don't like what I'm doing, so all this going back and forth making these videos are for nothing. No, at a certain point, you'll have fans, okay? As long as you remember what you're doing it for. And for me, I'm trying to provide perspectives, trying to provide useful information so that you can make informed decision making that benefits your life, okay? That is my end game here. East Africa Showcase. Of course, the in-person networking events are going to be a lot better because they're more interactive. This is just a video. I'm here talking to a smartphone by myself. But once again, thank you for watching this video and for caring about East Africa Showcase. This is Teza Mogas. Hope to see you in the next one. Thank you very much.